What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Okay, so as I start to catch up on the stuff that I wasn't able to report when I was at Contact, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And with the Grusch announcement that happened last week on AP News, suddenly after the report that I gave you guys yesterday, there's a lot more people covering it now. And News Nation did a special that I want to show you guys because they give a little larger description of what is going to happen next Tuesday. And the sensation in the air sort of feels like it could be a momentous occasion. We're already even planning, or starting to plan, on whether we cover it live or not, the whole Doomer Friday crew. It's probably going to happen on my channel, but it's still going to be a Doomer Friday exclusive. And we see if we are going to have a few surprise guests, depending on what happens. But it is encouraging to see that David Grusch is now a little more involved in whatever might happen, because he did say back then on Judicial Watch that between the next 60 and 90 days, there was going to be a lot of movement. And he did say that the videos released by the Department of War were not what he was expecting. So we know that this is. So let me show you this real quick before we move on to today's video, which is the Steven Spielberg recent interview on AP. Also, AP is doing some really interesting work lately when it comes to this topic. So this is Elizabeth Vargas. Shout out to UAP James. Here it is.
This time next week, UFO whistleblower David Grusch will be joined by a bipartisan group of lawmakers on the steps of the U.S. Capitol for what could be a pivotal step in the push for transparency around UFOs. Grusch plans to discuss specific UFO evidence that he encountered during his time as an intelligence officer and why these records should be publicly released now.
Okay. And to that, because that's going to be on June 9th, I have some news about Disclosure Day. I was invited thanks to my good friend Andy McGrillen from That UFO podcast, who was the one who hooked me up with people at Universal. So I'm going to have the privilege to watch the film on Monday. I'm going with the wife here in San Diego, and I'm going to give you an out of the theater reaction and also both a non-spoiler and a spoiler review of the film. And I'm also going to adapt whatever is touched on the film to real life, to whatever might be going on in real life. But this interview on AP News is perfect for you guys to know how serious Steven Spielberg really is about the topic and how much he wants for whatever he covered in this film to be real, to come true. So let me show you this little clip about Spielberg's process for Disclosure Day.
For me to describe it as, my first film that will be, considered science fiction that I do not consider to be science fiction. It's much more reflective of the world as it is evolving and discoveries that are being made as we speak.
Was it 2023? All those videos came out of different possible encounters with UFOs, Navy videos. How did you respond when you first saw those reports?
It was really 2017 when the New York Times came out with the story where they basically, a whistleblower had given them the FLIR footage of the Tic Tacs, and that were moving anti-ballistically through the air against 120 mile an hour headwinds and doing things that were impossible for any conventional aircraft to fly. And that's where, for me, all the reports and all the UFO flaps in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, from Roswell in 1947 to the alleged abduction of Betty and Barney Hill in the 1950s, and to the Pascagoula incident, and to then the aerial school in Zimbabwe that John Mack from Yale did extensive interviews and research about, and all the documentaries that had been made, and suddenly Congress is talking about it, and senators are asking questions, and there are subcommittees are being convened, and in 2023, it was the House Intelligence Committee had hearings where they interviewed Grusch, Fravor, and Graves, who were basically blowing the whistle on things they knew that they thought it was time to speak under oath to both Congress and the American people. And that really turned everything on its head.
So there was no epiphany for you necessarily, I believe. It was maybe an ongoing kind of revelation.
Yeah, look, I've been a believer since I made Close Encounters 50 years ago, but I wouldn't call that science fiction. I called it science speculation. And when I did press on Close Encounters, I refused to call it science fiction. But I was certainly a believer of life elsewhere. But I would always say, until I see a UAP or a UFO with my own eyes, I'm not going to categorically state that there's proof that there's life from out there has come here. But I have changed that, because I'm now willing to change my mind because of the circumstantial evidence, which is overwhelming.
I feel like you are hoping to start a conversation with this movie.
I am. I'm hoping to have people have a conversation, to think about it a lot, even perhaps see it again. I'm not to talk about commercial reasons for seeing it again, because there are so many questions people are going to have coming out of Disclosure Day. And by seeing it again, they are going to get some of those questions asked, but not all of them, answered, but not all of them. And I just want to start conversations. It's a completely original design by a number of artists, especially Carlo Rambaldi. Completely, different than anything that people have reported when they have alien encounters. And the plethora of documentaries out there, and people who have, reported being eyewitness, having a third encounter, a close encounter of a third kind, with an off-world entity. Our film is more realistic than even Close Encounters, or even more realistic than E.T. in the sense that it's about something that may actually be happening right now as we sit here and talk. And I wanted the I want to call them non-humans, the non-human entities. I don't like saying alien. I wanted them to look like what people have reported since 1950. I wanted them to be to look like, the kind of aliens that we see depicted in almost like composite police drawings when people describe what they encountered, and you get a composite sketch of it. And I wanted them to look like what people are actually reporting they've witnessed. And I designed some of my posters. I do design probably only about 25% of the movies I made. I've designed the poster, but I'm very proud of this one, because when you see the film, when the people see the film, they'll see how important the eyes are. They'll see how important the eyes are, the windows to the soul, but they're also what makes connections between people, both on this planet and also entities from beyond. That the eyes, it's all in the eyes.
Now that he described this, it is time to show you the final Disclosure Day trailer that I know it came out about a week ago, but I didn't have time to cover it all. But Spielberg does show the first gray alien. I got to show you this one, even though it's past due.
I can see them.
I am much more inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters to really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth.
This is a story about us, all of us,
Good morning, Kansas City.
up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
What's happening to me? I'm frightened. I'm frightened out of my wits.
You don't need to be. You have someone else.
Daniel Kellner,
Who is this?
do not go back to the house. They found you. I don't know who you are, but they're gonna kill you.
The human race cannot accept what we know. We need to stop it any way we can.
What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
This 79-year cover-up of the truth has to end.
We're interrupting our coverage.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves.
The only way to know your purpose is to go back to where it all began.
I know you.
I know you do. What happened to us?
I used to say to myself, wouldn't it be wonderful if all of this turned out to be true? I'm now thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful for people to know
They're coming.
all of this is true?
Disclosure Day.
So that was The Gray Alien from Steven Spielberg. And the reviews, early reviews are already out, and people are raving about this film. So Spielberg is back to his old self, apparently. And he is thinking, and this coincides with the interview that I had with my good friend, Dusty Garza, who told me some information about how Steven Spielberg believed that this was the real deal, and he was very invested in showing the best and most accurate film. That interview I'm going to leave in the description. It's really eye-opening, and a lot of what was reported there has come true. So kudos to Dusty for giving us those exclusives exclusively on Psicoactivo. So let me know what you guys expect for next week. I'll report to you spoiler-free first during the week, some details that I can share about the movie, but I will also drop my spoiler review on Thursday night, just so you guys are aware of this. And of course, I'm going to combine it with everything that I cover here. But let me know what you think. What did you think about Steven Spielberg's knowledge about UFOs? Pretty deep. He's been studying this for an entire lifetime, I would say. It's only natural that he's aware of what's happening, right? And what do you think about the final trailer, The Gray Alien that was shown there? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be reading. Before I leave, I want to present you with Psicoactivo's third sponsor, a really cool concept by the name of UFO Designs 3D from my friend Gary. Thank you to UFO Designs 3D for sponsoring this video. I'm just introducing to you guys the third Psicoactivo sponsored UFO Designs 3D from my friend Gary. And it says, finally, UFO and alien models worthy of your collection. So let's see the collections, yeah? Because this is really exciting. And this is the one that I got. UFO replicas are right here. And you got the Boblasar S4 sports model, the classic flying saucer right here, the TR-3B Black Manta, the Kexport Acorn UFO, the Indonesia Octagon from Michael Herrera, and the Rendlesham Forest UFO. And two presentation, all of these, and the Flash Gordon rocket ship as well. So that's one. And then you got alien figurines and busts. The second one, Gray Alien head bust, is the one that my friend Gary brought to me. This is the one, and this is the sports model that he also sent. Are pretty awesome. He also sent me the Rendlesham one and the TR-3B one. I will show them later to you guys, but I wanted to show them with you, and it's really sturdy material. It's really good. So the idea is to have people from the community who have small businesses like this one, and just so the whole support stays on a loop amongst the community. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity to do that. And there are many different sizes. These operate as headphone stands as well. And these are a little different from more like fantasy lore, you could call it. And then there's the Gray Alien and the Roswell Gray Alien. So what is going to happen here is that the way to support this small business is going to be as follows. So we're gonna be doing, I'm gonna leave a link in the description down below. You do get a promo code for the first order that you get, a 15% off. Only if you use the code Psicoactivo at checkout, you get a 15% off. So you go to ufodesigns3d.com. After you fill your cart, you put the word Psicoactivo at checkout for a 15% off in your order. I hope that you guys like these ones. They're excellent. And Gary also has little Christmas ornaments. They're also all themed for that. So you can get your Christmas tree early and all UFO and alien themed. It's really cool. It's amazing. It's the best quality and it's just for you guys. So let me know what you think. I'll be waiting. That's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive like Steven Spielberg. Always. Bye.